miss somebody? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you snuck in.
Lisa Park Central, 4.5 years.
Great, Lisa.
And the people of Bryan.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Patty down here, Patty.
I'd like to sit down. It's okay. No, I have your pen.
That's my smart pen. This is my dumb pen. So, okay, so now it's the panel start. First of all, Denise is tied up in traffic, but we told her drive slow. We'll get to her. She'll be on her way. She'll come through the door with her hair on fire in typical Denise Osborne style, right? So, but let's start with Matt. And Matt, tell us, first of all, what did you do before real estate, and why in the world you ever decided to get into this silly business, and how long have you been in the business?
Well, I've been in the business for 5 years. Prior to being in real estate, I say I come by real estate in my DNA. My family owned a residential construction company for about 55 years in Seattle. So what feels like birth through college, I worked construction for my parents' company. And then after college, I worked in retail. For Starbucks coffee and ran stores for Starbucks in Arizona and in Washington State for 8 years. And I always felt that if you can survive retail management, you can pretty much survive anything. So that's I decided to get into real estate after that job.
So your real estate career at the Tanque Verde office in comparison to Starbucks retail on a scale of 1 to 10, how much easier is real estate?
Nowadays, or when we started? It's actually a lot more enjoyable, I think, more than it is any easier. You being in charge of your own business, I think, is where the benefits come from.
Right.
Being able to drive that instead of working for somebody else.
And Matt is at our Tanque Verde office. Okay. Teresa Sullivan from our Green Valley office.
Yeah. Well, I've been in real estate all my adult life, whether it be in financing, construction, lending, commercial development. And I started in sales when I was in North Carolina, and that I was in commercial and residential sales for about 10 years. And then I moved out here and went in with home builders, and I was in home builder sales for about 8 or 9 years. And then just 3.5 years, wonderful years with Bond Realty. And just absolutely love this business because, like Matt, you have control of your own business and you just have some freedom and some flexibility to be able to get out and about and be able to take care of yourself too. Whereas in new home sales, you know that, you have no time to yourself. You owe your soul.
Good. Thank you, Teresa. Thanks for participating. Jerry Zach from our Foothills office.
Well, after graduating from the university here with a business degree, I took 2 different jobs and worked as a sales rep for these jobs and traveled throughout southern Arizona. And then to get promoted, I was really going to have to move into management to San Diego or some other state, and we just didn't want to do that. My husband and I, we wanted to have kids, raise them here. So we decided to go into real estate, and it wasn't a silly business back then. And I don't know who controls your hours, but the banks control mine now. These short sales have caused me to use a lot more hair color. So let me tell you, I have to go to the hairdresser a whole lot more often because they're short sales and makeup. But so what was the other question here? Oh, so that's how we got started. And do you want to know what we did to get started or not yet?
How many years ago?
25 years ago.
25 years ago.
Love it.
And Jerry was a branch manager. When I was a branch manager, she was my toughest competition.
And Laura Mans.
And Laura
The three of
Mans,
us.
right. The 3 of us used to compete against each other, so it was great fun. Now, I told you Denise would be coming through the door with her hair on fire, and you can see, here it is. What we're asking the panelists to talk about is how long have you been in the business, and what did you do before you got into the business, and talk about that a little bit. And this is an interesting story if you don't know Denise's story.
Yeah, so I don't have any of the background these folks have. I was a nail tech. I did nails at Kaleidoscope for about 9 years, and And at 40, found out I was pregnant after years of infertility. So I went to the mask store and basically realized that I was done doing nails for a living. I was making about $28,000 a year, and I had some top producing agents as clients. Barbara McGill, Tracy O'Brien, who's no longer with us, Martha Briggs, Rita Cox. And when I started going through my client list, they decided to take me to lunch and said, "You make a great realtor." So I went into the business half-heartedly. I didn't really think I'd make a great realtor. I took the New Agent class, and Bob Semple said, "Write down everyone you've ever known in Tucson." Well, I'd been a music promoter. I had a catering business. I was a local artist. I was on several PTAs because my children are 10 years apart because of the infertility stuff. So I had this huge sphere of influence, which was about 1,093 people when I sat down and wrote down the names. And I just started calling all of them. And I wrote a letter. You may know me as a local artist, you may know me as a caterer, you may know me as a nail tech, you may know me as a business manager for One Blood's reggae band, or whatever it was that I had done here in Tucson, and now I'm going to be a realtor. So I said, I'm going to call you for your business, and if you don't want me to call you, please let me know right away. Well, of course, everyone was happy to hear from me. And so now when I call, every Monday I make 20 phone calls, and now when I call, they go, "Wait, let me think, I know somebody." And they start calling each other and making jokes with me about it. So I started with Long 13 years ago. It's the only company I've worked for. It's the only company I will work for. I've interviewed with every single broker in town because they like to take me out to lunch. And what I realized is our team is smarter than theirs. So if they're not smarter, then I'm not moving.
Notice one key thing that Denise just kind of, she didn't say very loudly, but she probably will later on. But every Monday morning, she calls 20 people.
Yeah.
Every Monday morning, calls 20